Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM21 Stage Racer. This is episode 62, and we continue on with the Tour de France. It's stage 12. We've had a couple flat stages. We had a day off, and we finally topped the 90 points that we needed to manually trigger our fitness peak. But unfortunately, this game has one
We're already at the halfway stage.
bug, but it's not a bug. It's a design flaw. When your fitness peak triggers automatically when you hit 100, the day that it triggers, you begin your fitness peak, and then it lasts for X amount of time. When you don't, when in Pro Cyclist you do that automatically, you get there and you get, if you have the bonus points in it, you get 28 days. But if you manually trigger your fitness peak, it triggers immediately, counting that as day number 1 of 28. But unfortunately, if you are racing that day, you don't get it on that day. You get it starting the day following. I triggered it today before we started this stage. It counts as day 1, but I don't get it. My expected was a +1. I at least drew a +2. I mean, technically I should be getting a +3, so that would have been a +4 had it actually triggered. But anyway, that's how it is. That's how it's always been. I knew that was going to happen. We head into a massive Cat 1, third climb of the day, but this is definitely where things kick off. We have an Alls Cat and a Cat 1 plus a little additional climb to the finish line. It's a big day. It would have been really nice to have a +4. But my +2, not too shabby. 86 mountain today, 81 resistance. That's the really important one. 73 on the stamina. Certainly helpful. 9K to go to the top. We're not even officially on the climb, but we're going 9%. And we're just now beginning the official climb. 9%. And that's not the climb? What? Welcome to the Tour de France. Anywhere else, that's the hardest climb of the race, most likely. Okay, we are drifting back a little bit. Speed up ever so slightly, but really don't want to commit much to this one, as we want to save energy. Speaking of, Jones, Delay, Blickraw, Powers, gone, out the back. I've got Pedersen, Alves, Camargo, my top climbers left with me. Hopefully, I'll have all three of them as we head into the next climb, but we'll see how that one is faring. 3K to go. 134 still in the peloton. You've got Alves, Camargo in the middle of it, so I think we should be okay. Moran, Martin are both in the breakaway today, at the very least. So that takes out a couple top climbers, but we are loaded with a very, very stacked field. But I'm in an excellent third place right now. This is going to be a pretty tough stage. We'll see. We'll see how it's going as we get into the later stages. But for now, that's good. That's good. 73K to go, but we do need water here. I think it's going to be all split later, so getting the field just split. Great. Just what we needed. The descent, this is that perfect time to send somebody to get water, and the field splits. So now Pedersen's going to go get him himself, which is fine for now, but once we hit the flat, as in right now, I'm going to start, heart rate's going to go up, 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 and there it goes. Okay, he's back, he's back. And this group has not gotten back on. They're a minute 20 off the back. Yeah, they're not back on, so they might not get back up here. That's kind of worrying, because obviously they are in much better shape than Pedersen. They're going to be much more useful to me than Pedersen. And at a minute and a half, and with the continued push, this split looks like it could hold. UAE trying to make sure that they don't get caught back up. Now, those 54 riders are useful not just to me, but to others as well. So, I mean, it's not the worst thing to have happen, but I'm going to let myself drift just a little bit right now because we're not into the climb itself. And this area, with my flat rating is going to hurt me a lot more than out climbing these guys will. So I don't want to use too much heart rate. But Pedersen, nearly done. And that's it. He's going to start fading. I'm going to be on my own here quite soon. It's also increased to an almost 2-minute gap to that chase group, so they're probably not going to get back on. We're seeing our group thin, not going the other way. Meanwhile, the breakaway, they've got 3 minutes to the front 9 riders. Those guys have a chance at staying away, but with the amount of climbing we have to do, you would think probably not, considering they've been out front for the entirety of the stage so far. But they've got some excellent climbers, so they've still got a chance anyway. But you can see even at 77 effort, I'm halfway exhausted at the base of the climb, which is terrible. I ran out of protection, and my that flat rating just killed me before this climb. This is not a good way to start this climb, and I really, really fear that I could be dropped before even this first climb is done. I'll recover before the next climb, but if I'm dropped beforehand, that's really bad. It's really bad. I could lose a ton of time today. You can see we're already coming back to the next couple riders. Nealons, Cosnefroy. This 12K climb, 8% thereabouts. Down to the final 5.5K, but look how tired I am. Pedersen been caught up by that group, and they are 5.5 minutes down. 0 chance now of coming back. 4K to go to the top. And 7int, the latest to be pulled back. There's the majority of the remainder. Mater, Martin, Arnsman, Kamna. I mean, that's a lot of really good climbers. And I'm getting down to it with 3K to go. 2.5. 25, including those breakaway riders, and the last 2 of the break, but Uran coming back at him. I didn't expect these guys to be caught this early. 1K to go to the top, and it looks like I'm going to just survive this thing. We've really lucked out that the tempo kind of lifted. UAE gave up that push. Ineos took over, and the pace wasn't quite as bad. So, I have survived. We have 20 chasing 1. That 1 still has a sizable gap. Flores, really? All of those great climbers, and Flores is the one who's getting away. 26K to go. Let's get water before this final climb, please. There you go. Recovery ongoing.
Attack by Richard Carapaz.
Carapaz trying to attack. Bad timing on that one. Keep that heart rate low. There you go. So it's 19 chasing 2 as Carapaz did escape, but you can see the pursuit is coming in hot and heavy, which means the recovery was not complete. 14K to go. This climb, it's the Parasword. 9.7K, 7.5%. Trying to keep up here. We're pushing at 8-9% gradient. That's insane that we're pushing like that. 6.5K to go. Already doing some damage here. And here comes the next attack. Carapaz is still off front, isn't he? No. Oh, he's been caught. Godou's caught. 5K to go to the top of this, but then you have the additional climb and very steep finish, and there's not going to be time for recovery. I'd like to have my gel for that final bit, but at some point I'm worried about how this stage is going right now. These guys are pushing so hard, digging so deep. I mean, most of these guys are riding hard out of the saddle. These, 5 riders? 5 of the 20 are lead-out riders. Almeida trying to attack. Here comes Ineos burying themselves to pursue.
He could go all the way. The pace is so high that a few riders are
going
gonna be
clear.
very sorry at the
400
end of the
meters.
day. The riders are in a portion above 10%. 5 kilometers remaining.
Trying to conserve that energy, setting it up for the finale. 3K to go. Slow it down. 2K to go. Climb my pace, 85. It's 1.8K. We got some ground to make up. Those guys attacked just before the top. I didn't have the kind of energy you need for that. And you can see at 1K to go, I don't have the energy to attack here. It's just about how this final kilometer goes. We're making up some ground. Van Aert coming back at him. This is a super steep push to the line. I can't go any harder. Bernal, Pogacar, Vlasov, Gaudu. They have the extra energy that I just can't match. In fact, I did run out before the line without ever sprinting. 10th on the stage. I'm going to lose a little bit of time today. That endless amounts of energy allowed them to sprint just before the top and then continue on to the line here. I just didn't have that kind of energy without team support for one, but with that 25% bonus they get, it makes stages like this really, really hard to not lose a little bit of time. As expected, the time gaps were definitely given, some at least. I do not like that 3rd through 8th all got same time because the field was very much spread out. I can understand 2 or 3 riders maybe on same time, but certainly not 6. So Roglic really benefits because Caruso was right behind him. Caruso was 2 bike lengths behind Roglic. That ends up a minute almost behind him on time. So that's really unlucky because I, likewise, who was not far behind all of that, ends up at a minute 25. Almeida, Alaphilippe, Roglic gain at least 30 seconds that they didn't deserve, but it is what it is. We're going to have to deal with that and move on. Minute 25 is kind of costly, but with the fitness peak now triggered, my chances improve. My position, well, for the moment, has dropped. But we'll have every opportunity to start moving our way up the field from here. Pogacar into lead. Bernal. Alaphilippe. How is that guy hanging in there? 3rd. Roglic. Almeida. Mas. Gaudu. How is he hanging in there? And then the gap opens up behind me. Isn't that how this game always works? The gap is behind you, right? We just finished this with the career mode where I had 2 guys in position where they had 2, 3, 4 minute gaps behind them, as in the next rider placed behind them was multiple minutes down. And that same gap behind them, ahead of them, would have moved them up 6, 8, 10 positions. Same sort of thing here. I've got a minute behind me. Shave off a minute from my time, I'm sitting 4th place. It is what it is. Without even trying, I've found myself in 2nd place in the KOM. Okay. And I still lead the under 25s and actually comfortable now. Van Sevenent lost a lot of time at the end of that climb. There was a lot of time losses. My minute and a half wasn't good, but there was others that lost significant chunks of time.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Apart from some of the team leaders, only a true climber can expect to get something out of today's ride. The race will take place in beautiful weather conditions.
Stage 13, the next stage, is the 4th of 6 mountain stages in this race. Now that I have that bonus, I sit on a +4 today.
Attack.
Today,
It's now or never for those riders who want
basically
to avoid a
looking
battle over the
here,
last few
doesn't look
kilometers.
too bad. Look at that. It's only 100K. It's only 100K. So these 3 climbs are coming up early and often and are going to be a big feature of this. That's a 10K climb at 8.5 with maxing of 14. It's a 9.5K climb at 8%, maxing at 15.7, and you can see that the last 4 or 5K very steep, 15%. So this is an intense stage, meaning I need to get my team on this thing immediately. So we're going to take everyone, exclude myself, and go relay. Get up to 77. We need to get forward fast. Powers is already here, so go ahead and sit back and go into protect mode. I need my team with me. I don't want to do anything on the first climb, but I think beginning on climb number 2, I'm going to get active and see what we could do, especially with my condition for the day. How's that one looking, by the way? 84, 77 for that resistance, the stamina, 87 on the mountain, 82 on the hills. Yes, this is my kind of day. I'd love to see something happen. Now, the only problem here is you have this long descent after, and then a bit of downhill flattish to the finish, meaning you're not going to go solo, but you could absolutely go small group. And if we can get this thing down to 4 or 5 riders at the end, then outside of those guys that are with me, we could do a lot to, we could potentially gain a lot on a stage like this. Jones going to protect Camargo. Alves is already here. Blikra. Let's just get you on Alves. And then we have Delay or Pedersen. Pedersen's the punchier one on a day like this. He's a better climber anyway. A day like this, that's going to be more useful for us. Alright, is everybody in position now? Everybody but Blikra. You can see we're pushing 75, 77 and struggling to keep up right now. 8 riders are forming the break. They have a 1 minute gap and it's opening up. Field has sat up to allow them away. I think once they get to just over 2 minutes, I would expect that the field is going to start chasing a lot harder because there's already only 84K to go. Can't let those guys get too much of a lead. And just as I suspected, right at 2 minutes, the UAE has taken over. Their man Pikachu in the lead.
The lead rider is now more than 2 minutes.
Open it up another 10-15 seconds, surprisingly. You can already see my domestiques all taken some fatigue already. 77K to go. I do need to get water at least once, but I think that halfway point over the second climb is a good time to get that taken care of. 3 minute gap, and it's starting to come down. Pace is starting to pick up. All right. I'm going to push a little harder, and I want these 3 definitely to push harder. They're drifting back a little too far. Pedersen's going to have to do a little bit more. Without the red bar, Blikra, Jones, Powers are all going backwards.
The peloton has significantly increased its speed.
Pedersen's going to have to push even harder now to keep up as we approach the top. And those back 3 are gone. Delay, the only one left. Delay needs to protect me, except for he just got dropped. Oh, the field just split behind. I lost. There we go. It's back together. It's back together. Barely, though. 76. It's yo-yoing. Who's closest? Camargo. Protect. Delay. Protect Pedersen as he moves forward. And Alves move forward. Or here, how about we do it this way? You guys come follow. And Delay, come follow as well. Once we get some support up there, we'll switch off Camargo. Looks like we're going to be set for a final climb kind of clash. That first climb was too hard, too fast, meaning my team's just not in place to really make anything happen. I'll have 3 sport riders Delay going back.
Team managers mustn't appreciate the fact
See
that there is
you
a
later.
breakaway, given that the
Peloton
pack has
thinning
increased
out,
its speed.
and this is all about tempo. 6K to go to the top. Pedersen's not going to make it. So let's get him to switch off. Get Camargo in between because Alves is going to have to take over soon. Okay, now Alves take over. And Alves, the latest to already be fading. Gosh, he's not even going to make it through. We're down to 40. It's yo-yoing right now, but Camargo, go ahead and get water. I'm looking good. So hopefully nothing bad happens with him. He got the water without having to drift too far back, and he will eventually recover on this descent. There he goes. Okay, and now switch to protect, please. Thank you. Okay, one climb to go. And this group is absolutely going to thin out. In fact, I think I'm going to get Camargo to push. As soon as we start climbing. That first part's not bad. That last 4K, very steep. That's my kind of climbing territory. So we're going to follow Camargo. Camargo, you're going to go at your climbing tempo. Can you get forward with an 85?
We're starting the last third of the race. The lead over the pack is dwindling. A couple of teams have set themselves up as pacemakers for the pack.
Hey.
They obviously don't have
So far so
anybody
good,
to
except for
break away
that he's not even doing the kind of tempo that these guys are doing. Champison going forward now. Still pushing harder than we are. But is he trying to attack? Or is he just trying to push tempo? I don't know. I don't know which. Godu trying to attack. 5.4K out.
Godu goes onto the attack.
So there's Martin. Starting to push that a little bit harder. 4K. I'm looking really strong. So Camargo, I want you to open this thing up.
Climb is feared by many riders. The percentages
Here's
are
the steep
very
part.
high.
So Camargo's going to give what he's got left. Transcend. There you go.
Several
2.7K to go to the top. Godu and I have gone clear. I want to get to these guys and then go into relay and then hope that I get some sort of support. I do. Bardet, working. We've definitely opened up a little bit of a gap, and I've got some support riders with me. It's a group of 8 now.
The pace seems much too high for many riders.
Now it's up to 33. Nope, we still have separation. Alaphilippe made it. Godu made it. I'm going to get KOM points at the very least here at the top. 700 meters. $300 going over the top, getting the points, and let's sit up, start recovering. I am still second, but Gino Mater 15 points clear. We did split the field though. It's 12, and Movistar have an extra rider. Nope, he did not push. Ineos now has some extra riders. 19 back up to 21. It's a few too many guys. Ineos attacking, and nobody responding. Vlasov with the attack, going for the stage. Where is he in the overall? Vlasov, 16:41 down. Not a threat, but he's going to steal the stage. He's opened up a 30-second gap, and nobody else is chasing. Ineos is just casually riding down the hill. Arrow tuck, no riding, no pedaling at all by the front riders. I'm already fully recovered here. Be nice to catch up to Vlasov, but that's not going to happen solo, especially with my flat rating. I'm not the guy to make that happen, but if somebody is to attack, I want to respond to that. Out to a 40-second advantage. Stage is his. Quite clearly. 13K. Can I do something? Can we attack? Can't surprise the field. Gel up now. Can I open up a gap? Can I go acrobatic and open a gap? I have split the field. 12 riders left. Had split the field. My attack quit attacking without ever attacking. I never actually attacked. 9K to go. Following Almeida. Others trying to attack now. Going Arrow. But let's follow this thing, hey? Get up there to go do.
The riders are entering the last 5 kilometers of the stage.
Field splits again. Go do, who I was following, has somehow gained an advantage. I just doesn't like to follow, does it? 4K to go. Follow up with Gatcher. Just be in line.
Watch out. A team leader is falling
3K to go. I don't have the red bar, but I have enough to try to follow. Vlasov's still 30 seconds clear. 30 seconds clear. He's got too much of an advantage. He will get caught here. 1.6. And 1K to go. Sprint it out. I'm not a sprinter. Don't expect anything here. But the good news is we have a group of 12 gaining time. Vlasov, he's got the stage. Not a big deal. He was not part of this. But I'll be on the same time. And we have a smaller group. Let's hope somebody in that top 10 has missed out. Van Aert has missed out. Flores, Gegenhardt, Bardet. Definitely some guys missed out. We'll gain time on some of them. So we go solo for 15K to the finish with a group of 12 chasing Vlasov. Vlasov should have had a 20-second advantage. He gets nothing. The 12 of us that were chasing through Landa definitely should have had an advantage. Van Aert was well over a minute behind us. Huge gap. Nothing given. First gap at 25th. Hershey, minute 15 to them. 4:34 to the other chasers, though. So those guys really miss out. But really missed opportunity. It's a mountain stage, and we had clear gaps. First should have had an advantage. Second through 13th should have had an advantage over the next group. Really bugs me that they supposedly fixed this a year ago and then reverted back to the old system in their first major update a few weeks later because it was slightly buggy, and then that's been it. We've seen nothing in the last 2 years since that time. So with that chase group getting same time as the rest of us, nobody misses out, meaning the order is exactly the same near the top. Exactly the same. Out of it, Carapaz, Gegenhardt, Van Sevenent, top 13, still with a shout. 4.5 minutes, yes. I think realistically it's more of the top 8 riders that have any sort of chance. Alaphilippe, Gaudu, when we really get to the climbing, shouldn't have a chance, but they've made it through 4 out of 6 mountain stages still in this thing. So you never know. And one of those have been a pretty tough mountain stage. Today was never going to be a solo thing other than how Vlasov pulled that off. We have somebody who's well out of the standings and 4 riders of a team, and one of them just decides to attack when the others didn't have enough support to chase that back. That's just smart tactics. But it was never going to be solo GC contender. Not in a bad place. We're not in as good of a place as we were at the start of the day, but that previous stage, that was always going to be tough. Especially without the race day condition bonus. We've got it now. We've got it for the remainder of this race. How much can we take advantage of it? We're absolutely in contention, but there are so many really excellent riders at this race and still in it realistically. So, we're looking at 20 excellent climbers. This is a super deep field, and I think we absolutely can crack the top 5. I just don't know if we can get much higher than that. But we'll see. Plenty of race still to go. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.